Welcome back, everyone, to this very special journey into the hidden side of the gemstone world, one filled with secrets, forgotten histories, and powers ancient civilizations believed were gifted directly from the heavens. Today, we're exploring 10 angelic stones that do far more than shine. These are stones said to calm the mind, protect dreams, and influence destiny in ways that even modern science can't fully explain. But before we continue, there is something you must know immediately. The stone ranked number one in this video is currently causing a quiet uproar in the global collecting market. Its value has begun to climb at a rate experts didn't predict, and many now believe it could multiply several times over in just a few years. If you're considering investing in gemstones, or even if you're simply curious about choosing the right stone for emotional or spiritual protection, skipping this video may be one of the biggest mistakes you could make this decade. Throughout this journey, you'll hear stories rarely mentioned in textbooks or museums. Some of these stones were once ignored, valued at almost nothing, until the mines that produced them collapsed, dried up, or became restricted forever. Others appear humble at first glance, but were protected by noble families for generations, because they believed these stones shielded their children from nightmares and unseen dangers. And then, there is the final stone, the one at rank number one. A gemstone whose story, symbolism, and rising value have stunned even veteran mineral hunters. Some collectors whisper that it will become the defining gemstone of the coming years. If at this moment you feel a sense of curiosity awakening, if you feel this might be the beginning of something new, please leave a comment saying, "I like this video." It tells me you're here, walking this path of discovery with me. Stay with me until the very end, because the top stone we reveal might already be in your home without you realizing its potential. It could become one of the most important stones you ever learn about, financially, emotionally, or spiritually. And if you're busy right now or don't have time to watch the full video, simply save this video. You'll want to return to it. This is a journey unlike anything you've seen. A journey into stones whose names you may have never heard, but whose stories might change the way you think, dream, and feel. So take a deep breath. Let the world grow quiet for a moment. Our exploration begins now, into the 10 angelic stones that have shaped folklore, protected countless generations, and may just shape your future as well. Stone number 10, opal, the angelic rainbow that drives away dark dreams. When I first arrived in Coober Pedy, the underground mining town in the middle of the South Australian desert, I finally understood why the indigenous people believed this stone was a fallen piece of the heavenly rainbow. The ground burns at over 45 degrees Celsius. The hot wind cuts through abandoned mining tunnels. And within this harsh landscape, the angelic opal is born. To uncover a gemstone worthy of jewelry, miners must dig deep into Cretaceous-era sandstone, following tiny fractures where ancient water once flowed and deposited silica. Over millions of years under immense pressure and silence, these silica spheres align perfectly, creating the legendary play of color that makes opal a symbol of protection against dark, chaotic dreams. Angelic opal often appears with a milky white, light aqua, or near-transparent body, and across its surface dances a shifting rainbow that looks strangely alive. In raw form, it's usually an uneven, oval-shaped nodule, matte and unassuming. But once polished into a cabochon, it becomes crystal-like, like a drop of dawn light captured in stone. Its value depends entirely on brightness and spectral intensity. A 2 to 5 carat opal, suitable for rings or pendants, can range from 150 to over 2,000 US dollars, while high-grade, full-spectrum pieces can surpass that many times over. If you also find this stone surprising, especially its journey from a brutal desert to a heavenly-looking jewel, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And before we end, here's a question for every collector watching. Which gemstone do you think could surpass diamonds in 2026 and become the new symbol of value? Don't forget to share this video in Facebook or Reddit gemstone communities. You might be amazed at how passionately people react to angelic opal. Stone number 9, rose quartz, the guardian of calm hearts and safe dreams. If there is one stone that challenges everything we think we know about strength, it is this one. Because unlike gemstones born from fire, pressure, or violent geological chaos, rose quartz carries a power far more subtle, yet just as ancient. And as I stand here in the vast mineral fields near Minas Gerais, Brazil, surrounded by gentle pink boulders glimmering under the early sun, I understand why so many cultures believe this stone was placed on earth by benevolent spirits to protect the heart and the sleeping mind from fear. The first 30 seconds in a rose quartz mine are surprisingly quiet. No roaring machines, no explosions, just the rhythmic tapping of hammers against pegmatite walls. Soft, deliberate, almost ceremonial. Rose quartz is not found in glittering crystals like amethyst or citrine. Instead, it forms in large, massive deposits, hidden inside ancient granitic rocks that date back more than 500 million years. To extract it, miners must slice along natural seams, carefully removing thick slabs before cutting them down into workable pieces. In many ways, the process feels less like mining and more like archaeology, revealing layers of Earth's memory, one careful strike at a time. What makes rose quartz extraordinary is its color, a soft, milky pink that seems to glow even in shadow. Scientists believe the color comes from microscopic fibers of dumortierite locked inside the quartz. But long before modern explanations, people saw something else, a gentle, angelic light capable of calming storms inside the human heart. That belief spread from ancient Greece to China, from the Middle East to the indigenous peoples of North America. Wherever it appeared, rose quartz became a symbol of comfort, emotional balance, and protection during sleep. When found in nature, rose quartz typically appears in large, rounded blocks, opaque and cool to the touch. But once polished, especially into smooth cabochons or heart-shaped pendants, the stone transforms. Its surface becomes almost ethereal, reflecting light in soft, diffused waves. Some rare specimens even display a star-like pattern known as asterism, caused by intersecting fibers within the stone. These pieces are highly prized for jewelry. As for value, rose quartz is more accessible than many gemstones, but fine quality pieces, especially those with intense pink color and star effects, can command respectable prices. A polished 3 to 5 carat stone suitable for rings or pendants typically ranges from 20 to 150 US dollars, while star rose quartz or deeply saturated pink material can reach 300 US dollars or more, depending on clarity and craftsmanship. Larger centerpiece carvings can rise dramatically in value due to their rarity and the skill required to shape them. But the reason this stone ranks among angelic protectors has little to do with market price. It lies in what people feel when they hold it. As I interview miners, geologists, and families living near these deposits, a recurring theme emerges. Rose quartz creates a sense of emotional safety, especially for children. Many place it near beds to ease nighttime fears, believing it softens the boundary between dreams and reality, keeping dark visions at bay. If you find this stone as surprising as I do, its geological age, its gentle formation, or its role as a night guardian, feel free to leave a comment. I'm curious which aspect resonates with you the most. And here's a question to spark discussion. Which gemstone do you believe carries the strongest emotional energy? And could it one day rival rose quartz as the world's symbol of inner peace? If you share this segment into Facebook or Reddit gemstone communities, you might be amazed by the stories people reveal about how rose quartz changed their sleep, their emotions, or even their lives. Stone number 8, blue lace agate, the whispering stone that silences. Nighttime fear. If there is a gemstone that feels less like a mineral and more like a quiet breath from the sky itself, it is blue lace agate. And to understand it, you must travel to one of the most geologically ancient places on Earth, the arid hills of Namibia, where wind carves patterns through landscapes older than human memory. Standing here as a field reporter, notebook in hand, I'm struck by how silent everything becomes. Even the wind seems to carry a softer tone, as if echoing the stone's gentle purpose, to calm the mind, steady the heart, and guard the sleeper from fear-ridden dreams. The first 30 seconds on a blue lace agate field site are unexpectedly mesmerizing. The ground is pale and cracked, But when the sun hits certain broken rock faces, delicate lines of icy blue appear, thin as brush strokes, winding across the stone like frozen rivers. Miners here do not chase bright flashes or rainbow bursts. Instead, they look for subtlety, faint bands of white, lavender, and sky blue silica, layered over millions of years by groundwater, slowly depositing minerals into volcanic cavities. Unlike most gemstones, blue lace agate forms not through violent eruptions, but through patient, rhythmic flow. Each blue band represents a different moment in geological history, thousands of years apart. To extract it, miners must work with extraordinary care. Explosives are rarely used. Instead, rock is pried open gently with chisels and wedges to protect the fragile banding. Watching the process feels more like uncovering a delicate artifact than mining a gemstone. Raw blue lace agate usually appears as rounded nodules or irregular chunks, their exteriors dusty and unremarkable. But once cut open, the interior reveals its secret. Intertwining ribbons of pastel blue that seem to hum with tranquility. Polished into cabochons, the stone looks like a miniature sky captured in the palm of your hand. Color variations are subtle but significant. The most prized pieces display soft baby blue body tone, high contrast white lace bands, occasional lavender undertones that shift under warm light. These qualities give the stone its reputation as a natural emotional stabilizer. Across cultures, from ancient healers in Africa to modern crystal practitioners, blue lace agate has been regarded as a stone of calm speech, clear thought, and peaceful sleep. Parents often place it near children's beds, believing it softens the edge of nighttime anxiety and blocks intrusive, unsettling dreams. When it comes to value, blue lace agate is surprisingly accessible. A fine 3 to 6 carat polished gem, suitable for pendants or earrings, may range from 15 to 80 US dollars. However, stones with exceptional banding or rare deep blue layers can exceed 120 US dollars, especially in artisanal jewelry. Larger slabs carved into spheres or palm stones can reach several $100s due to the rarity of premium grade material. But price isn't what keeps researchers, collectors, and spiritual practitioners fascinated. It's the stone's quiet emotional resonance. Every miner I speak with references it, how simply touching a polished piece seems to slow the breathing, how the stone feels cool even in the desert heat, how people return again and again not for rarity, but for relief. If this stone surprises you, the ancient bands, the serene colors, the way it was formed drop by drop over millennia, feel free to share your thoughts in a comment. I'd love to know what part of blue lace agate's journey feels most meaningful to you. And here's a question to spark conversation. Do you believe calm energy stones like blue lace agate will rise in value as people seek emotional balance in 2026, perhaps even surpassing traditional precious gems? If this story resonates with you, consider sharing it into Facebook or Reddit gemstone groups. The discussions around blue lace agate, its symbolism, its calming effects, its role in sleep rituals, are often some of the most heartfelt you'll find in the gem world. Stone number 7. Black tourmaline, the night guardian that devours dark dreams. If there is one stone on this list that feels less like a gemstone and more like a protective force of nature, it is black tourmaline. To understand why ancient cultures feared and revered it in equal measure, you have to come with me to the rugged mountain terrains of Minas Gerais, Brazil, where jagged black crystals grow like frozen lightning bolts inside the earth. The first 30 seconds on a black tourmaline dig site are unforgettable. The ground crackles with mica, the air is dry and metallic, and shards of obsidian-colored crystal peek from fractured pegmatite walls. Even before touching it, you sense the stone's presence. Dense, grounding, and strangely magnetic. And that impression isn't far from the truth. Black tourmaline can actually generate an electric charge when heated or compressed, a property that ancient peoples interpreted as proof of its ability to pull darkness out of the world. Mining black tourmaline requires precision. Unlike opal or agate, which form in rounded nodules, tourmaline grows in long-ribbed column-like crystals. Most are buried deep within granite and pegmatite cavities, often surrounded by clevelandite, quartz, or mica. Miners use delicate chisels to loosen each crystal from the host rock, because even though the stone feels impenetrable, it can fracture easily if struck in the wrong direction. Watching the process reminds me of removing ceremonial artifacts from a burial chamber. Slow, patient, breath-held work. When unearthed, black tourmaline crystals are unmistakable. They appear in elongated, striated columns, deep black with subtle silvery reflections. Some pieces shimmer with what looks like starlight trapped in stone, a phenomenon caused by internal inclusions. In high-quality specimens, the crystal faces are smooth enough to reflect your silhouette like obsidian. But what truly sets the stone apart is its absorptive energy. People who work with it often describe the same sensation, a sudden quieting of the mind, as if mental noise is being pulled downward into the earth. Color variations are minimal, mostly jet black, but some rare pieces show hints of blue, brown, or deep forest green. Regardless of shade, the stone is universally associated with protection, grounding, and dream stabilization. In many traditions, placing black tourmaline near the bed was believed to guard sleepers from hostile spirits, intrusive nightmares, or wandering negative thoughts. In jewelry form, black tourmaline is striking. Cut into faceted gems, it becomes a dark, mirror-like jewel. Polished into cabochons, it resembles smooth volcanic glass. The price varies depending on clarity, size, and crystal termination. Small polished pieces, suitable for pendants or rings, typically range from 20 to 80 US dollars, while rare, fully intact multi-inch crystals can reach 300 to 1,000 US dollars, especially if they show natural terminations or aesthetic formations. Tourmaline artists often carve the stone into protective amulets, maintaining the crystal's original striations as a symbolic barrier against fear. But beyond value, the reason this stone earns its place among angelic protectors lies in its unique energetic signature. In interviews with miners and locals, a theme emerges. Black tourmaline absorbs what people cannot carry, whether that is emotional tension, nighttime anxiety, or the subconscious turmoil that fuels bad dreams. The stone has become a trusted companion for those seeking psychological grounding. If this stone surprises you, its electrical nature, its obsidian beauty, its historical reputation for absorbing negativity, feel free to leave a comment. I'm curious which detail resonates with you most. And before we end, a question for you in the gemstone community. Do you think protective stones like black tourmaline will rise in cultural importance in 2026 as people seek emotional resilience? Consider sharing this segment in Facebook or Reddit groups about gemstones. The discussions around black tourmaline are always intense and often incredibly revealing. Stone number 6, white agate, the pure light shield that guards the sleeping mind. If there is a stone on this list that feels like it was carved from the quiet center of the moon, it is white agate, a gem so soft in appearance, yet so enduring in spirit that ancient cultures believed it to be a fragment of divine protection. To understand its story, you must travel with me to the rolling volcanic hills of Sardinia, Italy, one of the world's most historically rich agate sources. As a field archaeologist, I've walked through many old mining landscapes, but few feel as sacred as this one. The first 30 seconds in a white agate quarry are serene, but charged with history. The ground beneath your feet is layered with centuries of volcanic ash, hardened into banded stone. When sunlight hits freshly broken rock, faint, ghostly stripes of white and cream shimmer beneath the surface. These are the micro-layers of chalcedony, formed over millions of years as silica-rich waters seep through cavities and slowly solidified. Each delicate stripe captures a moment frozen in geologic time. Mining white agate is an art of patience. Unlike crystal-bearing gemstones, agate grows in rounded geodes or irregular nodules, hidden inside volcanic pockets. The outer shell is rough, dusty, and often completely ordinary-looking. Miners must tap along the rock face, listening for hollow echoes, a telltale sign that a hidden agate chamber lies within. Opening a geode is always a moment of suspense. You never know whether the interior will reveal perfect milky bands, cloudy swirls, or translucent pools of soft white light. Raw white agate often appears in smooth oval nodules, ranging from pebble size to boulders, weighing several kilograms. Once cut and polished, its personality emerges. The stone might display swirling patterns resembling drifting clouds, concentric rings like tree growth lines, or a nearly uniform snow-white glow. This purity is what earned the stone its ancient reputation as an emotional filter, something that absorbs tension and replaces it with quiet clarity. Color variations are subtle but meaningful. Pure snow white symbolizes clarity and protection. Cream or ivory tones represent comfort and emotional grounding. Semi-translucent, milky layers are believed to stabilize the subconscious. Throughout history, from Greek healers to Middle Eastern spiritual practitioners, white agate has been used as a shield against fear, especially fear that rises during sleep. Many believe that the stone could capture wandering night spirits or dissolve emotional turbulence before it turned into nightmares. Even today, parents often place a small white agate under a child's pillow for a peaceful night. In jewelry form, white agate transforms into an elegant, minimalistic gem. Smooth cabochons resemble droplets of frozen moonlight. Faceted cuts create soft internal reflections. Prices depend on translucency, pattern, and craftsmanship. A typical 3 to 5 carat polished piece suitable for rings or pendants ranges from 20 to 90 US dollars, while high-grade material with cloud-like banding or exceptional translucency may reach 150 to 250 US dollars. Large expertly carved pieces can fetch even higher values in artisan markets. But what truly sets white agate apart is its emotional resonance. In interviews with local miners and collectors, I kept hearing the same description. This stone makes the mind quiet enough to hear itself. That quiet is exactly why it is considered one of the most effective stones for dream protection. It doesn't overpower the mind, it softens it, clears the fog, and allows peaceful dreams to take root. If white agate surprises you, its ancient origins, its soft power, or its role as a dream guardian, feel free to leave a comment. I'm curious which part of its story speaks to you. And here's a question to stir discussion. Do you think gentle stones like white agate will become more valued in 2026 as people seek inner balance over outward luxury? If this segment resonates with you, consider sharing it in Facebook or Reddit gemstone communities. You may discover stories of white agate far more moving than anything found in a quarry. Stone number 5, Angel Aura Quartz. The heavenly light that purifies the dreaming mind. If there is one gemstone in this top 10 that feels almost too otherworldly to belong to Earth, it is Angel Aura Quartz. Standing here in the mineral-rich foothills of Hot Springs, Arkansas, where some of the world's clearest natural quartz is found, I'm reminded how fragile the boundary can be between geology and myth. For centuries, locals believed these crystals were sky stones, gifts from celestial beings meant to protect the spirit during sleep. And even with modern science, it is difficult not to feel a sense of presence when you hold one. The first 30 seconds in a quartz mine are dazzling. Even before extraction begins, sunlight reflects off scattered fragments on the ground, sparkling like frost. Deep underground, the quartz veins run through the rock like frozen rivers, transparent, sharp, geometric. Angel Aura Quartz begins its life as this pure quartz, but its transformation into a rainbow-bearing stone requires both Earth's ancient structure and modern alchemical craftsmanship. Mining the quartz itself is meticulous work. Crystals grow in pockets called vugs, fragile chambers that can collapse if approached too aggressively. Miners move slowly, brushing aside clay, chiseling gently around cluster bases, and extracting each crystal whole. The goal is to preserve the natural terminations, the flawless points that form over millions of years of uninterrupted growth. Once harvested, the crystal undergoes a process that gives it its signature angelic glow. It is exposed to vaporized precious metals, usually platinum and silver, bonding microscopically to the quartz surface. This treatment, known as aqua aura enhancement, creates the iridescent sheen, flashes of blue, violet, pink, and gold that shift like wings made of light. Though the metals come from human hands, the underlying magic comes from quartz's perfect lattice structure, allowing the rainbow to refract in a way no other stone can replicate. In raw form, angel aura quartz maintains its crystal shape, long six-sided prisms with sharp tips and slightly milky interiors. Polished into spheres or cabochons, the rainbow becomes even softer, like a halo suspended beneath glass. This stone's coloration is unmistakable. Opalescent blue-white base, pastel ribbons of lavender, pink, and gold, a diffused glow that seems to float under the surface. Because of its ethereal look, angel aura quartz has long been associated with mental clarity, emotional cleansing, and dream purification. Many cultures, especially modern crystal practitioners, describe it as a nighttime purifier, believed to wash away lingering fears before they reach the subconscious. Parents often place a small piece near bedside lamps to create an atmosphere of peace. In terms of value, angel aura quartz is more accessible than its mystical appearance suggests. A well-formed crystal point suitable for pendants ranges from 25 to 80 US dollars. Larger clusters with strong rainbow sheen can command 150 to 400 US dollars, and rare multicolored aura specimens or high-grade jewelry settings can reach 700 US dollars and beyond. As with all quartz, clarity and termination quality greatly influence price. But what truly makes this stone compelling is not its rainbow or its rarity. It is the way people respond to it. During my interviews with miners, geologists, and collectors, I heard variations of the same idea. This stone feels alive. Perhaps it is the way light dances on the surface. Perhaps it is the human connection in its transformation. Or perhaps, as ancient folklore suggests, it is simply a stone meant to remind us that even in darkness, beauty can emerge. If angel aura quartz surprises you, its origins, its mesmerizing colors, or its role as a dream purifier, feel free to leave a comment. I'm curious how you interpret its energy, and here's a question to spark global discussion. Do you think stones enhanced with modern techniques, like angel aura quartz, should be valued equally to natural gems in 2026? Share this segment in Facebook or Reddit gemstone groups. You'll witness debates far more passionate than anything found in a mine. Stone number 4. Howlite, the silent stone that absorbs restlessness. Before it becomes a nightmare, there are gemstones shaped by fire, gemstones shaped by pressure, and then there is howlite, a stone shaped by silence. To understand its power, you must travel with me to the stark, open landscapes of Nova Scotia, Canada, where this pale, veined mineral lies hidden beneath chalky white cliffs. Standing here as a field archaeologist, I can tell you, few stones feel as intimately connected to the quiet inner workings of the human mind. The first 30 seconds on a howlite site are strangely soothing. There is no shimmer, no dazzling color, nothing that demands attention. Instead, the stone reveals itself through subtle contrast, white nodules peeking from beige rock, laced with delicate gray and charcoal veins that look like ancient ink drawings. Howlite does not scream for discovery. It waits patiently, mirroring the calm it eventually brings to those who sleep beside it. Mining howlite is a balancing act between force and precision. The stone typically forms in porous nodules, sometimes as large as grapefruits, embedded in sedimentary rock deposits. Miners must chip away slowly, almost meditatively, because the stone, though firm, can fracture if handled too aggressively. Watching the process reminds me not of mining, but of restoring a fragile fossil. Every movement controlled, every choice intentional. In its raw form, howlite appears chalky and matte, with a texture similar to dry bone. Its signature feature, the delicate web of veins, emerges more clearly as the stone is cleaned and shaped. When polished into cabochons or spheres, it transforms dramatically. A smooth ivory-white gem with branching gray lines that resemble cracked ice, winter trees, or drifting smoke. Its colors remain soft and soothing, pure white or bone-white base, gray or charcoal vein networks, occasional cream or subtle beige undertones. This simplicity is exactly why ancient healers valued it. For centuries, howlite was believed to absorb agitation, quiet racing thoughts, and protect sleepers from spiraling into restless, chaotic dreams. Among indigenous groups in North America, It was sometimes placed inside bedding or carried as a pocket stone during long journeys to calm the spirit. Today, modern crystal practitioners still describe howlite as a mental filter, a stone that slows emotional noise before it becomes overwhelming. For children who fear sleeping alone, or for adults who lose sleep to anxiety, howlite's grounding energy is considered one of the gentlest forms of nighttime protection. In jewelry form, howlite is beloved for its minimalistic beauty. It pairs effortlessly with silver, white gold, and even carved wooden settings. A well-polished 3 to 5 carat stone typically ranges from 10 to 40 US dollars, while high-grade, sharply veined howlite used in artisan pieces can reach 60 to 120 US dollars. Larger carved forms, such as palm stones or meditation pieces, may sell for 150 US dollars or more, especially when sourced ethically. But price alone cannot explain the stone's rising popularity. During my interviews with miners and collectors, a recurring theme emerged. Howlite feels like exhaling. It is the stone people reach for when the world gets too loud, the stone parents place near their children's pillows, the stone travelers carry when they fear unfamiliar nights. It doesn't overpower, it absorbs, it settles, it softens. If howlite surprises you, its quiet formation, its gentle appearance, or its reputation as a protector of peaceful sleep, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to know what part of its story resonates most with you. And here is a question to stir conversation. Do you believe subtle stones like howlite will become more culturally important in 2026 as people search for emotional stillness in a noisy world? If this segment speaks to you, consider sharing it in Facebook or Reddit gemstone communities. The stories people tell about howlite are often more calming than the stone itself. Stone number 3, celestite, the sky crystal that softens the boundary between dreams and light. If there is a stone on this list that truly feels as if it did not originate on Earth, it is celestite. To understand why ancient cultures believed it to be a vessel for angelic messages, you must come with me to the windswept shores of Madagascar, where the world's finest sky blue celestite forms inside limestone caverns older than human civilization. The first 30 seconds inside a celestite quarry leave a lasting impression. The air is cool, almost echoing, and the walls glitter with clusters of pale blue crystals, some as small as a fingertip, others as large as a human skull. When sunlight filters into these caverns, the crystals glow like solidified sky, creating the uncanny sense that you're standing inside a frozen cloud. As a field archaeologist, I've explored tombs, ruins, volcanic fields, but few places feel as tranquil and as sacred as this. Celestite forms in sedimentary rock, where mineral-rich groundwater slowly fills natural cavities. Over millions of years, the water evaporates, leaving behind crystals of strontium sulfate arranged in perfect geometric patterns. Extracting celestite is delicate work. The crystals are stunning but brittle. A single careless strike can shatter an entire cluster. Miners often use hand tools, chisels, brushes, and padded cradles, to remove each formation intact. Watching them work feels like witnessing the recovery of ancient relics. In its raw form, celestite usually appears as dense clusters of blue crystals radiating from a central point. The color is unlike any other gemstone. Powder blue, soft and airy, ice blue, cool and luminous, sky blue, bright enough to resemble the horizon at dawn. Occasionally, clusters show hints of lilac or silver shimmer, caused by microfractures that scatter light. The effect is mesmerizing, like tiny stars trapped within the stone. Historically, celestite has been associated with divine communication, tranquility, and dream clarity. Ancient Mediterranean cultures believed it carried messages from celestial beings. In more modern traditions, it is considered one of the most effective stones for calming nighttime anxiety and inviting peaceful dreams. Many people place a small celestite cluster near their nightstand, believing its light energy softens emotional turbulence before it reaches the subconscious. Jewelry-grade celestite is less common due to the stone's fragility, but when cut into cabochons or tumbled pieces, it reveals a soft, glowing translucence. A small polished gem of 2 to 4 carats typically ranges from 20 to 70 US dollars, while high-quality clusters from Madagascar can range from 50 to over 500 US dollars, depending on size, clarity, and crystal sharpness. Large geode-like clusters, some weighing several kilograms, can command even higher prices in collector markets. But value alone does not explain why celestite has captivated so many cultures. During interviews with local miners, spiritual practitioners, and residents, a recurring theme emerged. Celestite makes the world feel quieter. It doesn't simply calm the mind, it elevates it, creating a sense of gentle expansion, as if widening the space between thoughts. This quality is what makes it so effective in dream work. Instead of shielding against nightmares like the darker stones on this list, celestite invites clarity, making dreams feel lighter, cleaner, and easier to understand. If this stone surprises you, its sky-born glow, its fragile power, or the peaceful atmosphere it creates, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to know what part of celestite's story resonates most deeply with you. And here's a question to stir global conversation. Do you believe stones associated with clarity, like celestite, could become more valued than protective stones in 2026 as people seek meaning in their dreams? If this segment resonates with you, consider sharing it into Facebook or Reddit gemstone communities. The conversations around celestite are often as peaceful as the stone itself. Stone number 2, Angelic, the quiet blue stone. Said to carry messages from the unseen, some stones command attention with brilliance, others with rarity, but Angelite is different. It doesn't shout, it whispers. To understand its reputation as a bridge between humans and guardian spirits, you must journey with me to the desert highlands of Peru, where this powder blue mineral rests beneath dusty hills shaped by ancient oceans. As I walk through these silent plateaus, the wind is dry and thin, carrying the faint scent of gypsum and salt. It is here, beneath this pale, timeless landscape, that Angelite forms, compressed over millions of years from the evaporation of inland seas. The first 30 seconds on an Angelite extraction site feel strangely otherworldly. The landscape is barren, quiet, and washed in soft, muted colors, just like the stone itself. Miners work carefully along seams of anhydrite, peeling away layers of pale sedimentary rock to reveal delicate blue veins hidden inside. Because Angelite is relatively soft, it must be carved from its host rock with steady, controlled movements. One slip of a chisel, and a large, flawless piece can fracture into chalky shards. Watching this work reminds me not of mining, but of unearthing ceremonial pottery, fragile, ancient, important. In its raw form, Angelite appears as smooth, rounded masses with a matte, powdery surface. The color is unmistakable. Soft periwinkle blue, sky blue with hints of lavender, occasionally blue-gray with cloudy white patches. When polished, the stone deepens into a velvety, dreamlike blue that seems almost lit from within. Some pieces display subtle cloud-like patterns, giving the stone an ethereal, floating quality. It is easy to understand why cultures throughout South America nicknamed it the Stone of Heavenly Communication. Historically, Angelite has been linked with calm speech, emotional clarity, and dream protection. Shamans and spiritual healers used it to quiet internal storms and create a sense of presence, believing that when the emotional body settles, the mind opens to guidance from benevolent forces. In dream work, Angelite is associated not with blocking nightmares, but with dissolving fear before it takes shape. In modern times, many people place Angelite near their bedside or under pillows. It is believed to soften the space between waking and dreaming, protecting the sleeper during vulnerable moments. For children especially, the stone is seen as a gentle guardian, one that eases nighttime anxiety without overwhelming their energy. Angelite is rarely faceted because of its softness, but it shines beautifully in cabochons, beads, pendants, and carved figurines. A polished 3 to 5 carat gemstone typically ranges from 15 to 60 US dollars, depending on color saturation and craftsmanship. Larger hand-carved pieces, angels, spheres, or palm stones, can command 80 to 200 US dollars, especially when sourced ethically from high-grade Peruvian deposits. But beyond price and geology, what truly sets Angelic apart is its emotional presence. During my interviews with miners and local communities, one sentiment surfaced again and again. Angelic helps people feel held. It is not a stone of power or protection through force. Instead, it offers a softness that invites calm, the kind of calm that keeps nightmares from forming and allows sleep to deepen naturally. If Angelic surprises you, its ancient oceanic origins, its delicate color, or its reputation as a companion for peaceful dreams, feel free to leave a comment. I'm curious what part of its story resonates with you. And here's a final question for our global gemstone community. Do you believe gentle emotional stones like Angelic will rise in popularity in 2026 as people seek comfort more than luxury? If this segment speaks to you, share it in Facebook or Reddit groups devoted to gemstones. The conversations around Angelic are often as soft and as uplifting as the stone itself. Stone number 1, selenite, the moonlit shield, said to cleanse the mind before dreams begin. Among all the stones in this top 10, none carries a reputation as ancient or as unmistakably celestial as selenite. If the other stones whisper, this one glows. And to understand why civilizations from Mesopotamia to Egypt revered selenite as a physical fragment of the moon, you must journey with me to the stark gypsum plains of Gobestan, Azerbaijan, where great translucent blades of this mineral lie buried beneath windswept earth. The first 30 seconds on a selenite field site feel unlike any location I've documented. The ground is pale and shimmering. Even the dust reflects light. When sunlight hits exposed crystal beds, the stones illuminate from within, like frozen beams of moonlight rising from the soil. As a field archaeologist, I've explored volcanic mines, crystal caverns, fossil beds, yet nothing resembles the quiet radiance of a selenite plain at dawn. Selenite is a crystallized form of gypsum, created when ancient saltwater lakes evaporated millions of years ago. Over time, layers of mineral-rich water repeatedly flooded and receded, allowing long, blade-like crystals to form vertically, some stretching meters in length. Extracting these crystals requires delicacy. Miners must carve around each formation with wooden wedges and padded supports because the stone, despite its beauty, is surprisingly soft. A single careless vibration can cause a crystal to shear along its natural fiber-like structure. When unearthed, selenite often appears in long, luminous blades, perfectly striated, with a glow that seems to emanate from beneath the surface. Colors range from pearl white, the classic moonbeam hue, ice clear, like frozen water, soft golden white, caused by desert minerals, silver gray, in rare sediment-rich formations. Some pieces even display a phenomenon known as chatoyancy, a moving band of light that drifts across the crystal as it turns, resembling an angel's feather caught in stone. Throughout history, selenite has been valued not for its hardness, but for its purifying energy. Ancient desert tribes placed it near sleeping mats to clear wandering spirits. Greek temples carved thin sheets of selenite into windows, believing the stone allowed divine light to enter while keeping shadows out. In modern dream work, selenite is considered one of the strongest stones for clearing emotional noise, creating a clean slate for the subconscious each night. In jewelry, selenite is rarely faceted because of its softness, but it polishes into ethereal pendants and palm stones. A well-cut 3 to 6 carat piece typically ranges from 10 to 50 US dollars. Larger wands, spheres, or carved towers, especially those with superior translucency, can reach 70 to 200 US dollars. Massive museum-quality blades can sell for several $100s or more, depending on clarity and size. But its monetary value is not what earns selenite the #1 position. During my interviews with miners, healers, and local families, one idea surfaced again and again. Selenite creates space. Space for the mind to slow down. Space for the heart to soften. Space for dreams to unfold without being tangled in fear. While darker stones absorb negativity, selenite transforms it, turning emotional static into something quieter, clearer, more manageable. That is why people place it on nightstands, windowsills, or under pillows. It doesn't just guard sleep, it prepares it. If this stone surprises you, its moonlit origins, its fragile power, or its historic reputation as a purifier, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to know which part of selenite's story feels most meaningful to you. And here's the final question of our series. Do you believe purity-focused stones like selenite will become the most sought-after gems in 2026 as people seek clarity over complexity? If this resonates with you, share it in Facebook or Reddit gemstone communities. The discussions around selenite often shine just as brightly as the stone itself. As I close my notebook and step away from the mines, deserts, caverns, and ancient coastlines where these 10 angelic stones were born, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Every gemstone carries a story far older than our fears, yet powerful enough to guide the mind through the darkest parts of the night. From selenite's moonlit purity to Angelite's soft whispers to the fierce protection of black tourmaline, each stone in this journey shows us that the earth has always held a quiet understanding of the human heart. Long before we studied dreams, these minerals were already shaping them, calming them, guarding them. And as a field archaeologist, I've learned that history is not just found in ruins. Sometimes it glows quietly in the palm of your hand. If one of these stones surprised you or reminded you of something from your own life, feel free to leave a comment below. Your experiences and interpretations often reveal insights far deeper than anything I uncover in the field. Before we part ways, I'd like to hear your thoughts on one final question. Which of these 10 angelic stones would you trust to protect your sleep, and why? Your answer might start the most meaningful conversation in this entire series. And if you want these stories to travel even farther, don't hesitate to share this video in Facebook or Reddit gemstone communities. You'll be amazed at how many people carry their own stories of protection, clarity, and the quiet light these stones bring into their lives. Thank you for walking this journey with me, through deserts of gypsum, caverns of sky blue crystal, volcanic plains, and ancient ocean beds. Until our next expedition, may your nights be peaceful and may your dreams be guided by light.